Most traders know how to draw the trend lines, but they trade them wrong, resulting to unnecessary losing trades, and eventually they will say it doesn't work. In this video, I'll show you the only trend line strategy you ever need. It is simple, powerful, and proven to work in every market, be it crypto, be it forex, indices, or whatever. This strategy involves using trend lines and demand and supply. By the end of this video, you'll be able to know how to trade trend line touch or retest and trend line break to avoid unnecessary traps and fake outs. So if you want to know how to trade like pro, make sure to watch this video to the end, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you can get notified whenever we drop a new video like this. And also don't forget to join our trading community. There we share trading tips, trading guides, and most times we also drop trading signals. The link to our trading community will be in the description of this video. Without further ado, let's jump in.
So looking at this, you will easily see the demand and supply levels, and I'm not going to waste time telling you what are demand and supply levels because we have already discussed this in our last class, but I'll put small light on it. Demand is the last candle before the massive bullish candle, and supply is the last candle before the massive bearish candle. Looking at this, you see, why is this a demand? Okay, it is a demand because of this massive bullish candle. You see the massive bullish candle there, then the last bearish candle before that massive bullish candle is what is our demand. Okay, so as you can see, this also demand, this is also demand, and this is also supply in different time frames, but this one is a demand in 4 hours time frame, this one is a demand in 1 hour time frame. So if we go to 1 hour, I will show you why it is a demand. Okay, so you know what is demand and supply now. So what are valid trend lines? A valid trend line must have 3 touches in the market. Let's zoom this. Looking at this here, you see this trend line have a valid 3 touch. 1, 2, 3. So it have 3 touches. So it is a valid trend line. So since it is a valid trend line, we will be looking for a price retest. Whenever the price tests the trend line, we will look for a buying opportunity. But the mistake most traders do is anytime they see a touch in the trend line, they'll go buy. This is wrong. Okay, so if you don't see a demand level at that trend line, the trend line may likely not going to hold. Okay, so now let's go to 1 hour time frame and I will explain better. All right, this is 1 hour time frame, and as you can see the trend line, this is the trend line. And now, since it is a trend line, see, this is a demand. Why is it a demand? Because of this massive bullish candle. After the massive bullish candle, mark the last bearish candle before the massive bullish candle as your demand level. As you can see, we mark out this level as our demand, and market tap to it, and boom, buy. So if you bought this market at this level, you will make a massive 1:3 risk to reward. And you may ask, why did I put my profits here, my take profits here? Because it is a supply level. Why is it a supply level? So if you go back to 4 hours time frame, you will see why it is a supply level. Let's go. Here is a 4 hours time frame. So why is this a supply level? Look at this. Look at this massive bearish candle. The price rallied up, based a bit, and then drop. Whenever you see this, then mark out to supply level, and you are going to start marking out to supply level from the last bullish candle before the massive bearish drop. Okay, so the last bullish candle before the massive bearish drop is this. So mark it out as a supply level. That is why I took the trade here and I take my profit here. And as you can see, since the market respected this supply level, and there is no valid demand level here, so I will not look for another buy at this level. That is the mistake many people do. The mistake is, since this is a trend line, they will look for what? Buying opportunity. But this is totally wrong. Why? Because there is no valid demand level at this point. If you don't see a valid demand level at that trend line, please don't buy or don't sell. And finally, the market did what? Market dropped. the market dropped. So since the market dropped, breaking this trend line and creating M pattern, if you learn your technical analysis very well, you will understand that M pattern is a trend reversal pattern. So if you go to this 4 hours time frame, this is the M pattern. After the market respected the supply level, it created M pattern and broke this trend line. Okay, so when the market broke this trend line, the market will come to retest it. And how do we know the exact retest in this market? To know the exact retest in this market, you have to mark out your supply level. So marking out your supply level, as you can see, these 2 bearish candle, after the market dropped, rallied, and then dropped, here is the last bullish candle before the drop. So mark it out as your supply level. So if you mark it out as a supply level, what are you going to do? You are going to be looking for a selling opportunity at that supply level. No more buying opportunity, because the market broke this trend line. Since the market broke this trend line and we have our supply after the trend line break, now I will look for selling opportunity. The point is, we took this trade because this is a valid demand level and it's matched with the trend line. Okay, so we didn't take this trade because there is no valid demand level here, so we didn't expect the market to hold. So if you don't see a demand level or a supply level that matched with the trend line, don't take the trade. Now when the market broke this trend line, it gave us a supply level. It's reacted to the supply level and sold off. So you can see that the market don't respect trend lines, the market respects demand levels, because the market respected this one, respected the supply. But when it comes to this space, some people will say, okay, since this is a trend line touch, let me take another buy. No, it worked here, but it is not going to work here because there is no demand level here. So from this supply level, the market moved down to this demand level. Already I've showed you the reason why this is a demand level. This is a massive bullish candle, and the last candle before the massive bullish candle is the beginning of the demand level. When the market came back to this demand level, it respected it. First of all, let's go down to 1 hour time frame. You will understand this better there. All right, this is the demand level, and when the market came down to the demand level, it reacted to it and boom, moved. And as you can see in this 1 hour time frame, as you can see, this massive push up. Okay, the last bearish candle before the massive push up is your demand level, and this demand level is found in 1 hour time frame, so it is our 1 hour demand level. So when the market respected the 4 hours time frame, it also came to respect this 1 hour time frame. But the problem is there was a trend line here. Let me bring the trend line again. So here is a valid trend line. Why? Because we have a touch here, and we have another touch here. 3 touches on a trend line makes the trend line valid. All right, so let's continue. As you can see, if you come back to this, as you can see, the 1 hour demand level, after respecting the 4 hours demand level, you can take your buy here. You can take your buy from that 1 hour demand level because it respected the 4 hours demand level. But the problem is, some people will expect to sell it from here because it is a trend line, but there is no valid supply here. Even if there is a valid supply there, you don't take the trade. Why? Because the market respected this 4 hours demand level. Since the market respected the 4 hours demand level, only look for buying opportunity. All right, so what are the mistakes most people do? And mistake is, since they see this as a trend line, they will be looking for selling opportunity, which is totally wrong. Why? Because the market respected the 4 hours demand and the 1 hour demand. So there's no need to look for a selling opportunity in the trend line touch. So to avoid unnecessary tricks, traps, or fake outs, please don't trade trend line touch if you don't see a demand or supply level. Okay, so but if the market respects a demand level, don't expect the market to respect the trend lines, because the market is moved by demand and supply levels. A summary:
you have to understand that the market is moved by demands and supply. So if you want to trade trend line touch, look for the nearest demand or supply. If there is no nearest demand and supply, then the trend line may not hold. So anytime you want to trade trend line touch, look for the nearest demand and supply. If there is no nearest demand and supply to hold the price, then the trend line may not hold. Price may respect trend lines, but demands and supply move the market. So if you understand this, then you can trade like pro. Don't forget to join our community using the link in the description of this video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more videos like this. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Good luck.